I'm going to tell you a story called Anything That Can Happen at a Wild Animal Farm. And the reason why I want to tell you this story is I'm a horrible, horrible optimist. I'm just one of those people that, I know it's annoying, I can't help myself. I'm just one of those people that just sees the bright side of things. And people always ask me, you know, how is it that you have such a positive spin on things? And, you know, I've thought about it, and I thought about, you know, what is it about it? Because it's not like I had a cheery, happy, that everything in my life was perfect. Certainly there's been some dark things, but for some reason I just always had a lot of confidence that you never know, wait and something positive may occur. And I think part of that really comes from having grown up near a wild animal farm. I'll give you a couple examples. So, we're sitting at the breakfast table, and where my family would eat breakfast, we would look out on a hill. And we're looking out on this hill, and my sister looks over and says, "Hey, there's an ostrich on the hill." And my brother, who was the wise, all-knowing older brother, said, "That's not an ostrich, that's an emu." And actually he was right. It actually had escaped, because what happened was, I grew up, and over behind that hill was a wild animal farm. And the fellow who ran the animal farm really didn't run things as well and didn't keep things quite as tight as he might do. So occasionally an animal would sneak out. So you never know. I mean, Easter Sunday, you come out of Mass, you might be greeted with a peacock displaying its full tail. So, and you never know what would happen. I mean, I remember one time the Ostrowskis, they couldn't go to school one day. They tried to go to school. They went out to the bus stop. There was an eagle in the tree near the bus stop. And every time they would try to leave their house and go, the eagle would swoop down at them. And so they actually had a day they didn't go to school because of an eagle. I mean, how many people you know didn't go to school? Because imagine if you had a book report due on that day and say, "Oh, sorry, there's an eagle out front, I can't go." So that's the kind of surprises that happen. And it wasn't just children. Sometimes it was adults. One of the more famous stories in town was a fellow who was a notorious drinker. And he was drinking one night, and he saw something, and he said, "That's it." And he drove himself to the police station, and he handed in his keys. He said, "Man, I should not be driving. I just saw a giant white elk in the middle of the road." And the sergeant behind the desk said, "We just see what we've been looking for a while." Another escapee from the wild animal farm. Well, probably the most dramatic thing that escaped from the animal farm was a mountain lion. It was pretty exciting and a little scary, to say the least, yes. And I remember, because we were out playing, we were definitely those kind of kids that would just sprawl all over the neighborhood. You were everywhere. And we were out playing, and all of a sudden my mother comes flying out of the house. "There's a puma on the loose! There's a puma on the loose!" And she's grabbing children willy-nilly, just grabbing any child, scooping them all up. And she gets them outside in the living room, and she's calling up all of them. "Marge, yeah, I've got little Timmy, it's okay." "Little Susie, no, maybe you should talk to Florence next door. But I've got little Timmy, so he's all right." So she gathered up all the kids. And of course, I was like, "Wow, this is great." So we went right over to that same picture window that we looked out and saw that emu. And we're looking for a mountain. We're looking for the puma. Mom, what the heck is a puma? It's a mountain lion. They call them pumas in some places. It's a mountain lion. My brother said, in some places they call them catamounts. So we were like, okay, mountain lion, looking for mountain lion. Okay, what color is a mountain lion? My mother said, "Tawny." We go, Tawny. What the heck is tawny? Orangey color. So we watched. We never saw that mountain lion. But the police did finally find the mountain lion, and he was taken care of. But none of us will ever forget where we were on the day that the mountain lion escaped. There's all kinds of animals that escaped out of the wild animal farm. Some of them big, some of them small. there was these birds. They were Egyptian waterfowl, and they somehow escaped. And the first we heard about it was the local Audubon Society getting calls saying, "This is strange new birds. I've never seen them before. And I've got my whole bird book here, and I've got every single bird I can keep track of. And I've never seen this bird before." They said, "Oh yeah, it's an Egyptian waterfowl. We found out about them. Don't worry about them. They're not going to be around for long. They can't survive the winter." So that's supposedly what happened with the Egyptian waterfowl, is they probably just didn't make it. But whenever I go back home, I always look. Because those Egyptian waterfowl had a very distinctive little white spot over here on the back of the neck, on the side of the neck. And I always look, because I always figure, I think some of them made it. I think some of them are breeding there, right near that wild animal farm. Because you know why? Because anything's possible when you grow up near a wild animal farm.
Oh.